Hello YouTube artist, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. Today I wanted to share all of the painting that's been going on in my studio, and there's been a lot, and on different projects. So I'm really excited about that because it means that I'm working through some items, working through ideas, and actually playing around with my new color palette, which has led me to a couple changes. I'm going to share that with you and why. I also want to share my progress so far, or should I just say my start of the 100-day project. It is turning out so cute. The oddities word is perfect for what I'm experiencing right now. I wanted to share a new sketchbook that I started at the first of the year and just the processes that have been happening in the studio. So let me turn this camera around and let's get started. I missed creating every day last year, so this year I knew that I wanted to make time to do that. It's nice to come into the studio and have a project already on your mind just to get you sitting down and painting, and that means a lot to me. So I had bought a sketchbook from Deanna. It's a handmade sketchbook, and it's a thick one, and I like the size. So here's my hand. It's a little bigger than my hand, and I wanted something that I had a little more room in, but I wanted a lot of pages because the way I was looking at it is I'm looking at 4 pages per month, and that is enough for the whole year in the sketchbook. So as I started, I wanted to just start 2026, and I just wanted it to be kind of a clean slate. Now what I did for the first month was just draw because, as you know, I was looking for my muted palette and I knew that's what I wanted to use inside this sketchbook. Whenever I'm doing a new sketchbook like this or creating a new palette, I like to experiment with it for a lot of paintings, and I figured this would be the perfect mix for that palette, and I will share more on that palette later. But in here, it's just everyday things. So I just wanted to start out with a 2026. I have these little maple seeds. They are playing out in my word of the year, so they're kind of like a symbol for this year. You can see that I'm trying to make them, again, design concentrated, so you can see that there's some kind of flow going on into the next page. I decided to not do a concertina book this year, just to do it inside of a regular sketchbook. And these are just everyday things of mine. So I started out January 1st wanting a caramel apple, so I went and bought one, but then in my book I wanted it to look more earthy, like I had just picked it, and I loved putting like a little twig up there. You can see that the colors are nice and coherent. That's what I'm testing right now in this sketchbook, is to see how my palette, to see if it's well-rounded, if I've got all the colors that I think I need. And you'll see there's a button every week that I had bought a button from Ray Missigman. It was her 100-day project last year, and I just love the idea of them. So I've got enough buttons that I can almost put one a week in here, but I love doing that, and I like having that connection of my friend being in my sketchbook as well. So you'll see those on every page. Here's another one. As you go now, you can see this page, kind of the design goes up this way. I really had fun with this one. Everything was really kind of soft, so keeping it delicate, but yet having a little boldness to gain your attention, right? That is telling you to turn the page, definitely. So you go up from here and over. This one, now it goes down this way and over. And you can see my snail is pointing that way. So if he was pointing the other way, you would be looking there. But you can also see that this is heavier in color, and I love this color. This is Tundra Green. I just like the way that it's granulating. So by keeping him lighter, this really commands your attention. Again, one of Ray's buttons. So then from here, I went up and over and around this way. I could have put something up here to make you go to the top of the page, but I thought it was kind of fun connecting to all these elements and then letting the colors come out this way. You'll notice another one of her buttons, and that's my color palette for this year. So I wanted that to be in the book. And then this is my word of the year, and you can see, so from this bottom of the page, we come in and we go up here. It's the Olympic time, so I thought that it would be fun to just put the Olympic rings in there. When I was going through here, there were a couple colors that I was missing, so I was making note of that in my everyday, like what do I feel like, well, like I'm missing. And again, another one of her buttons. This is a seed pod, and then I've just got things going. This is Valentine's Day week, so you'll notice a lot of hearts. And I like that because it's helping me remember what the days are. I've also got it written down here like February 8th through 15th. That's how many things I've put on my page. You can see hearts there, and it's just something fun. So that is where I've stopped so far. But when I was going through her, there was certain colors that I felt like I was missing. And what I started doing was giving myself a list. Not working. So that was my list. And then what I felt I wanted to add. So let me go to my palette. So this is what my palette looks like, and I shared this one with you. But as I was going, I really wanted to play with some more colors, right? So I didn't like the way Potter's Pink came out. It was just too bold for me. Bent Grass here, it's very similar to that, so I wanted to do a different color there. Vintage Green is just really too dull, and then the Zoisite Genuine I wasn't using. I wanted something a little brighter. These two down here, these two blues, they were just, again, too dull. Like when I went to mix that blue ring on my Olympics, I couldn't make a really bright blue. I didn't like these colors here, these more red violets, and I didn't like these two. They were too muted as well. So you can see it's the muted, it's almost like, I don't want to say like a dead tone, but I wasn't able to take these and add like this color or this color and really brighten it. All it did was really make mud. So I was looking for, I needed some brighter colors, and I needed lighter colors. So lighter meaning more like a really light value. And a couple colors came to mind. Like I wanted shell pink. I wanted, instead of like a coastal fog, I wanted butterfly. Instead of these two colors, I wanted something a little more following the blue. This is Davies Gray, so I wanted to see what I could find. I was missing kind of a cerulean blue. Think of like an aqua kind of, but a dull aqua, right? I didn't want something really bright. The dark color here, this Hematite Burnt Scarlet, I was using this color more than I was using this color, and this color plus my sepia will give me this dark. So I found it as an opportunity to add another color. So then I started writing a list of what I thought I could add. So I was like apricot, shell pink. Shell pink was a color that I really wanted to add. I've got a couple different greens. I've got an indigo. I've got different purples. And the purples, I wanted to go more of the blue purples. I found myself reaching for this style of violets instead of the brighter red style of violets. I think because I have all these reds up here that I can easily kind of change the tone of those. So then what I started doing was I went along through my paints again. And you saw the video last time with all my paints pulled out. And I started playing with what kind of colors. This is where I really kind of added from this line down. So I was trying the different cerulean colors. I tried a little bit more here. I knew I wanted kind of an indigo color. So I've got a couple indigos here, and then I've got this one here. I was looking for an indigo that was bright, but not bright like an indanthrone blue or an ultramarine blue. I wanted something more of indigo, kind of Payne's gray mix. And then for my lighter colors, I knew I wanted like a light peach. I knew I wanted this bright shell pink because I'm missing that in my palette. I do have this color called Blush here and Hot Dog, which I'm moving now to the reds because I'm using it more as a red. But it wasn't strong enough. It's not bright enough. And no matter what I tried, I could not get the brightness of a shell pink. So there is my shell pink. It's brighter. I wanted to see Coastal Fog versus Butterfly to see the difference in the colors. And I like that this one seems more green. This one was reading a little more gray next to my greens. So I needed something to punch up my greens, to add more yellow, to give it a little more color. I also knew that I wanted to add Solstice Fern. So Solstice Fern up here is brighter. You can see these are all my colors that I had that were kind of dull. That one gives it a nice brightness, and it's more like a Kelly green. And that's what I was missing off here. I had a lot of yellows, I had a lot of very dull, and I had kind of a bluish green color, and this was my yellow greens, and you can see it's nothing really bright like a Kelly. Yes, I had the olive green in here, but I didn't have anything to turn it to a green Kelly green, like a spring green, and I know I'm going to need that, especially once spring comes. So that's where I've decided to add the solstice. And this is undersea, and undersea, when I was working with it, it was really keeping my colors quite dull. So I switched it out with Earthen Green by American Journey. And what I found is this is a truer green. It's a little brighter in its dark tones, and I really needed that. I had a lot of really dull colors, so I needed this to be a little brighter so that it would keep the brightness of my greens. And then I was trying different violets. I needed a really dark gray, and I tried Getz Gray, Natasha's Gray, Iris, and then Otswald Gray. I like the Otswald because it was different, where it was definitely a bolder color. You can see all three of these grays. Let me bring that up closer. So you can see this one kind of led more neutral. Natasha's led a little more blue. This one led a little more warm, but I wasn't happy with any of them on my palette. You can see they all kind of go really nice with my dark greens, but I already have values of those. So when I discovered Otswald, I mean, look at that dark. It's almost like a black gray, but yet it's dull. It's not as dark, or as, like, I look at black as it creates almost a hole in my work because it is too dark, where this I could play around with the values, and I like that a lot. And then I tried different yellows. I wasn't sure if I wanted a brighter yellow. I'm happy with what it's doing, but I wondered about color mixing. Like, would I need a brighter yellow? So then I was trying different yellows down here, and I really decided not even to change my yellows. I was happier by adding these lighter values like this. I added kind of a minty green in my palette, the butterfly, and I figure I can make that work for making lighter colors. So let me show you here. I went from this, and then I did another trial of the palette to see what would work. And you can see I tried a different yellow up here called Loam, and it didn't do any different between these. It was kind of the same value. So I deleted that one, and I added Sea Clay. And so you can tell that the palette is much different. And I was playing around with order because, like, I knew I wanted to add the shell pink. Like I said before, the hot dog for me, I was reaching more for a pink. But then I wanted to really establish peaches as a different area. And then changing my red violets to the blue violets and moving the flax color up really helped because I had my flax color down here before. So let me share my new colors. And you'll see that I replaced 12 colors. I know it seems extreme, but it was really, watch the way the palette changes. And I have a new one of these to share at the end. So this green replaced the dull green here. I've got my bright pink. I've got my deeper green. I've got a blue that I really love. I've got my dark gray. I've got my kind of cerulean color, a more green instead of dull, the apricot there, another violet, and the green. So even though they were minute changes, I feel like it's an even more well-rounded color palette now, especially with the additions of these blues here. Look what a difference that made. Now let's see the dull here and look at the brightness here. Just that alone is making me feel a little better. Taking these two colors, right? So making that a more cerulean color, and then that is a little more gray color. And let me show you now the difference of this palette. Let me dump all those colors. This is my old palette, and I want you to really pay attention to these two lines right here. Well, actually all three, they make a big difference. Look how much more complete that feels. So I've got a really nice run of the oranges to the reds to the more pinks for me to a couple red violets to more blue violets. You can see that brighter green there. I'm really excited about that color. Can you see the 4 colors here? Those are colors that I added because I was missing that brighter tone. With those values, I'll be able to mix and come up with making something lighter in value. These colors here and all of these down here. So these 3, and here's that nice dark gray. There's the 2 greens that I added. I am just really more excited about this palette. It looks a lot different to me than this one. See how heavy the oranges and the reds are? And then I've got the red violets and the blue violets, barely blue. Down here, I just had a couple blues, but you can see here, all of these colors from this one to this one are very dull, where I changed a lot in there. You can see now I've got more colors. They're brighter as they go here, and there's a big difference in color tone with this ocean gray instead of these 2 grays. I mean, look at the difference there to there. So I'm more pleased with this, and I can share the smaller ones with you so that you can see the difference here. So this is my older palette. This is my newer palette. So do you see the difference? I mean, look at the difference up here. Again, I've got that row of pastels. You can see this line is much different here. And then this one with the red violets going into that, I'm much more excited about that. The greens here, look at the dullness here. And then look how much more lively they are there. And then down here, look at the deep blues. And look at the blues here. So I've got a lot more choices. And I am really liking the different changes. And what I did after this was I tried painting my 100-day project. Let me share that with you. So this was my subject for the first 3 days. And I shared her with talking about how to start the 100-day project. I want you to see how cute it turns out. So this was day 1. And my day 1 was all about the bee on her butt. I just really love that. And this color is Butterfly from Deep Deep Light. And I love the color. And then this was day 2. So day 2, I really wanted it to accentuate the flower pot. I called it a cupcake because that's what it reminds me of, but it's actually a flower pot. So that was day 2. And then day 3, I just wanted to capture her sweetness. I love the little hat. I love the flowers on her hat. So here's how I kind of had them laying together. And that is her. Isn't it cute? So the idea of oddities for me, working where it's capturing portions, I mean, each one of these stands alone, but I think even when I frame these, I'm going to kind of frame them together like that. I love the way that that looks. It's just a fun juxtaposition, but yet it gives you areas that I want you to focus on. And it's something that I've been really enjoying. And I was able to try out my new colors of the butterfly. I tried out some of my deeper violets, my brighter green. My Otswald gave me the darkness of her eyes. And you can see, I'll pull up the bigger one there. You can see that it's more of a gray and not really a black, which I think is what I really, really like and what really has been missing off of my palette. So I'm excited to have that dark color in there. It's not as bold as a black, but I love it just the same because it does give me that darkness. As you can tell, it's been a busy couple weeks here painting and trying out my new palette, but the changes, I think my palette's pretty well rounded now. I'm going to keep playing with it one more month and then see if it needs any more tweaks, but for right now, I'm pretty excited about the changes and what the new palette looks like. It's just something to have fun with, look at it, and feel like nature is coming into my house, which is just what I wanted. If you were inspired by today's video, please leave me a like or a comment. If you are a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, please click the button. And as always, thanks so much for watching.